Welcome to another video in this our R Simplified series. So this should be our part 13. This should be our 13th video, and we have covered every concept in R that we can think of from introduction till this point. So in this video, we just quickly want to talk about two things: array and data frames. If you're here to see our videos, please head to youtube.com at Butterverse. Search for our R series. You see our videos on R. We have videos on Python, on JavaScript, on React.js, and we are planning to start a new trend on cybersecurity and to help the common man stay secure out there and all of those things. So the only thing you can do to help us grow, help our community grow, is to give us a like, give us a comment, share our videos, and lead people to our community. So, without me wasting much time on this video, we want to talk about arrays. Arrays are just like metrics. Our last video, we talked all about metrics, where we have dimension, but metrics has like two dimensions in that order. But if you want to work with data that have more than two dimensions, then you are definitely going to be using an array in R. So how do we make an array in R? The first things first, let's just have a variable. Let's just call it collection. Let this variable be a concatenated atomic of numbers between maybe 1 and 24. So if we should run this in our object, it will return a collection, an integer number of 1 and 24. Let's convert this connection into an array. By default, if I should call collection, this will give me an array. It's just a dimensional array, which is an array consisting of values between 1 and 24. So let's try and see if we can split it into other dimensions. So taking a look at this, let's just call it multi array. For example, it should be a collection of, it should be an array rather. And this array will be coming from where? Collection, and we'll have a dimension. Let's make our dimension an atomic of maybe 4, 3, 2, and see what our multi-array gives us. So automatically our multi-array is already breaking things down to, for us, you can see 1, 4, 1, 3, 1, 2. So let's just print it out and see what we have in our multi-array. Multi-array, you can see the difference. Initially, when we have a single dimension array, it just gives us an array of a single collection of objects right there. But now we have a multi array, and it returned like a matrix, but has um, four-dimensional array. So uh, you can see the difference between matrix and array. Two dimensions data, matrix. More than two-dimension data, then you'll be looking at using arrays for this. So let me quickly explain what we have in this dimension so it will be clear to us. We say we want to use this collection to create an array that has a four-dimensional array. If you take a look at this, we want a four rows, three column, and two dimension. The first number corresponds to the number of rows we'll be having. The second number corresponds to the number of column. Then the last number in this particular dimension corresponds to how many dimension array we have. So we have a two-dimensional array with a 4 by 3 matrix inside of it. That's all we are having in this point. But you should note that arrays, metrics, are just collection of the same data type. The same data type. Very important for you to know, for you to be able to use that structure. Same data type. So the way we access data in the array is the same thing that we have been doing in the days of list and in the videos of matrix. So you can go back to those videos and see how we are accessing. But let's quickly access a particular value here in this multi-array. You can see we are using the same uh, square bracket as we have been using. Let's say we have a multi-array, 2, 3, 2. You can guess what we'll be seeing in output is giving us 22. 22. So you can see that means second row one, two, three in this two dimension, and it's returning 22 for us. So just look at our videos on metrics and get to understand. Um, this guy can also take the in keyword if you want to search if something is in something, like we had in other videos. So this also works in our array. So quickly, the next thing we want to move to is data frame. I really want us to get closer to start implementing R on real data or real life problems and see how we can come up with a whole lot of things with it. So data frames, just think about it like a table in a spreadsheet. Simple. A spreadsheet is an Excel sheet. Think about it as a table in a spreadsheet. It holds different types of data, multiple column, just bringing different data series together and putting them together as frame. We give you what is called a data frame. So in our data frame level right now, when we say framing things, just look at the normal English word of framing. Just bringing things together and they're making sense to you. This is where you establish relationship between different data series and those observations start giving you an interpretation of what you want to see. So let's think about it this way. We had an example of favorite books in one of the videos. So let's say we uh, want to frame an information about a book, the name of the book, the number of the time the book is read, and the number of stars in rating that the book gets. So let's just quickly have three books. Let me call books all my books. And my books will be an atomic, a collection of strings. Um, we had some books, but let me just say data science. And the next book is maybe cyber security. And the last book is how to make cake. So we have three books in our collection, and we have another series or another collection that says times read. We say anatomic of data science was read five times, just an assumption. Cyber security, people are quite all over the place with it these days, 15 times. How to make cake, seven times. Then we have reviews. Still an atomic. Um, Data science got on a scale of 0 to 5, maybe got a 3. Uh, Cybersecurity got a 4. How to make a got a 2. So you get the idea. This every observation you see here is just representing a column at the end of the day whenever we throw it into a frame. Remember that up until this point, you didn't have a way of bringing different data types together. For example, your salary, your age, your name, your address. These are data that are represented in different form. Your salary is always a floating number. Your age is an integer. Your name is a string. So you need to draw a distinctive line between data types and data structure. So see a framing as more like structuring data. The whole idea is this: you cannot analyze a data that is not structured. So you need to find a way to structure your data first before you proceed with your analysis. So let's call this data. I like calling my end up structure data. And we want to take it from data dot frame. So this is what we want to do. We want to frame all of these guys to give us what we need. And it's saying data dot frame is taking a few things, rows and columns and empty values if we have this. So we'll pass all our data points into this so we can frame them as one. We start from books, uh, times, read, and we go ahead and say views. So before we run that, let's just run these guys one after the other so we have them in our object. We run this, we run this. So automatically you can see this is looking interesting already. It's telling me that, oh, okay, I have a data that have three observations. This is awesome. So I have a data that have three observations. Automatically I can see this. Oh, we have books, cybersecurity. R is already becoming a bit smart, telling us a couple of things, showing us a table, even showing us a brief visualization, even when we didn't ask. You can see it's showing us a table. We can summarize the table. We can do a whole lot of things with it, even before we start working. As soon as R discovers the relationship in a frame, it gets so smart and it's already exciting. That okay, we can just see all of this. So you can see that. So in data science, it was read 3 times and has it was read 5 times that had 3 reviews. Cybersecurity 15, 4 reviews, and this. So we are getting closer to the analysis. If you just decide to have your data printed out, same thing, you're going to be seeing this. You can see how interesting it's getting and everything looking good already. So let's keep up with it. At times, you want to do a few things. Whenever you get your data, always remember this. First, you want to get familiar with your data, understand the structure. I'm telling you this from experience, and if you get to do this, you don't have a problem when it comes to analysis or when it comes to building models or when it comes to working with data entirely. First, always try to understand the structure of your data and the type the observations are being represented in. And that will solve like, let me see, like 50 to 60% of your problem because when you know it, you're able to interact with it. So let's do something. Let's call a summary on our data and see what we'll get at the end of the day. So this is a summary in our data, similar to summary in Python, but then in Python you use describe in Python pandas. But this summary returns everything you need to know about the data structure. The data structure is books, has a length of 3. This particular, we have a class of character and we have a time thread. It's able to do statistical methods on metric values and return some cool stuff for you immediately. It's showing us the minimum value, the 25th percentile, which is the first quarter, the median, the mean, the 75th percentile, which is the third quartile, and the maximum. From these, I can start seeing my outliers, I can calculate my interquartile range and a whole lot of things just by calling a summary on this data. I can see all of these things. So that's one of the reasons why it's quite interesting for R. If it's Python, you have to import pandas and do some things with pandas before you get to this point. But calling summary on a data in R, it just goes straight and give you the statistical summary it's supposed to give you. So let's look at other things we can see in R. So assessing item, we want to assess item. Um, Again, when you know the structure, you should be able to access items. We know it's a frame. So how do I access items inside the frame? We access it in 3 ways. We access it in 3. The first way, you can use the index to access the item. So if I just go ahead and say data, I need you to give me who is in one. You can see one returned the series. That's series of the books, data science, cybersecurity, and how to make cake. Or we can assess it based on the name, based on the name in a way. So I can assess it this way. The name is data science. Our first observation is called books, not data science. So books. So this book should be in a square bracket so we can reach it from that dimension. So you can see we called books and it gave us the same thing in an array: data science, cybersecurity, how to make it. Same way. And the last way you can actually assess it, which is frequently used by most people in R, is by using a particular operator. And the operator is the dollar sign. So using the operator now, remember the first one was using the index, the second one is using the name, the third one is using the operator, data, uh, maybe you see, where is it again? Dollar sign, and automatically by putting the dollar sign, R becomes so smart and R is showing you that okay, you can access this, this, and that. So let's say we're accessing books. This alone should give us same information. You can see. So anyway you access it, It totally depends on you, but this is one of the smartest way to do it. And that's why it's important for you to name your variables in a proper way. Give them proper naming convention. If you are separating two letters, like if I'm changing this from books to my books, it will be a my underscore books, or I use the camel casing. So just go to our early videos. You're going to see our naming convention in this and understand what it's doing. So we can add new rows to our frame. Of course, like your table, you want to add a new row, a new observation to it. You can do that in R. How do we add a new row? We are going to be using the R bind. That's you want to bind a new row to it. That's what we want to do. So you can go ahead and say maybe let's call it new um, row, or updated. Let's just call it updated data. I want it to be an R bind of who, the data we have, comma, what do we want to bind to it? An atomic of all of these guys. We want to bind an atomic of all of these guys. So let's say our new row consists of a few information. What do we have in this? Earlier, we have these 5, 3. So let's add the new book, the times read, and the reviews. Let's add constitution. People hardly read the constitution these days, so let's say it was read 2 times and it was reviewed 2 star. And automatically I have the updated, and it's saying updated has 4 observations and all of that. So if I should do if I should check it out, it shows me that now we are having a new row, which is the constitution and all of this. So basically, this is what you get to see whenever you're working with data frames. So in the next video, we're going to look at factors, so we can start moving into plotting with R and other interesting things with R. See you in the next video. Bye for now.